content creators, listen up. We often speak to a lot of content creators on this show, learning how to TikTok, how to Instagram, how to Reel, how to do all the things. But there is an award that is specifically for you. And next to me on a Zoom is Darren Sandris. Hello, Darren.
Hello, how are you?
I'm a little bit nervous, but cautiously optimistic that we're going to find some things that we can enter to win some things.
I don't think you should be cautiously optimistic. I think you should be fully optimistic.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. I'm fully optimistic. Okay. So Darren, you are from the Content Creator Awards. It's the inaugural
Correct.
awards celebrating content creators. First things first, what is a content creator?
That's a good question. So, we've heard a lot about influencers. We kind of heard about celebrities, and the whole world of kind of social media has really exploded and given people access to other people's kind of lives. But it's also given people who have a story to tell or have something incredible to make for social media an opportunity to do that. So if you just look at TikTok, for example, and how it's exploded, it's one of the largest platforms in the world. I think last year it was bigger than Google in terms of kind of users. And it's because they have these incredible creator tools that allow you to kind of edit and produce really interesting content, right? And content that's relevant to you, that your particular audience wants. So this really came about where in lockdown especially, we were all consuming content a lot more than kind of we would have, right? Because we were all at home. And we were like, who's celebrating these people? Who's recognizing all of these creators, not necessarily influencers, because, influencers get kind of paid to produce content a lot of the time, which is great. That has its place.
Yeah.
But what about those guys who are doing stuff for a particular cause, or that foodie content creator who's making amazing recipes and has people really just enjoying his or her content? And that's really where this came from, was we want to shine a light on people who make us feel good. We want to shine a light on people whose content makes us stop scrolling because we're like, this is amazing. I'm enjoying this. Let me follow this person. And so that's why we have 22 categories ranging across kind of foodie, best brand-owned platform. A lot of brands have created platforms themselves to kind of produce and share content.
Yeah.
We've got the best content creator, which is kind of obviously kind of one of the bigger ones. And so there's a little bit of something for everyone. Even if you're an illustrator or a designer, there's a category for you. If you've produced art that is kind of in the zeitgeist around pop culture, enter that. And that's an award.
Okay, now Darren, so you've told us what content creators are, but coming from me, a normal consumer of TikTok, way too much at 3:00 in the morning. Is a content creator specific to TikTok, or can it be a podcaster, or can it be a YouTuber? Is content creation across platforms, or is it specific to one?
No, absolutely not. I just mentioned TikTok. TikTok is incidentally a partner of the DSTV Content Creator Awards, but they're one of the platforms. And we actually have a podcast category. So if you've produced an amazing podcast, that's a category for you. It's across any kind of, it does need to be on a social media platform. It needs to be in a publicly accessible. So as you say, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, any of those platforms work. Some categories you need to submit a specific piece of content. So if you've produced something for like a particular cause, or if you're a comedian and you've produced a particular piece of comedic content. Others you can, like with food and automotive and beauty, you would submit your kind of almost portfolio, so your platform as a whole. And we're seeing entries coming from a variety of different platforms, because for some people, YouTube makes a lot of sense to them in terms of who their audience is. Others, Instagram makes a lot of sense. And so we're definitely platform agnostic.
Okay. Now, for someone like me who maybe has not even micro following of like my 4,000 people. How are you judging, right? Because I'm gonna in my heart really want this. Let's say comedian award on TikTok, right? I'm entering this. I'm looking at the Okay, so I'm gonna do how I shot it, right? So those are
Amazing.
great. I consume those all the time. I never get them right, but I still consume them. So me and my 4,000 followers, we're gonna enter, we're gonna do it, we're gonna submit. But then you're obviously gonna get the massive, massive creators. How are you fairly judging between me and my baby followers and them and their massive millions of people?
Absolutely. And that's a very valid question. So when you go onto the Content Creator Awards.co.za, go onto the site, we've actually listed like what are the judges looking for.
Okay.
And we've actually made it quite clear to say it isn't necessarily about the number of followers you have. Yesterday we hosted the first ever Kasi Marketing Lab, which
Mm.
forms part of the Kasi Content Creator Awards. It was phenomenal in Kailicha, and just the thirst and hunger for information and knowledge. And those creators don't have a lot of following necessarily, but it's looking at what is the content? Is it relevant? Is it unique? Is it authentic? And has it gotten a lot of engagement? Because you could have 4 million followers and get 10 likes. You could have 4,000 followers and get 400 likes.
Yeah.
And so it's very much the judges are going to be industry experts and people within the field who are creators and influencers and marketers themselves. And they're not just going to be looking at, well, this has had X number of reach, but is it relevant? Is it interesting? Is it kind of thumb stopping is our kind of catchphrase.
Okay. So I'm just going to reiterate, followers don't necessarily matter. It's engagement, and it's open to anyone. I mean,
Anyone.
within
You have to be 18. You have to be 18 and older.
obviously. Yeah.
Sure. But it is open to anyone.
Okay.
And we've had an explosion of entries in the last few days, actually. I think we're sitting on over 1,500 entries.
Wow.
And we only launched on the 19th of April. And so you can enter in multiple categories. So, we're seeing comedians entering in the comedic award, but it also How I Shot It award, or, some comedians have an alter ego. So they're entering in the alter ego category. And we also really want to call out to brands and agencies because they produce a lot of great work as part of the campaigns they roll out with influencers and content creators. And there are categories for them specifically, like the brand owned platform, and other long format kind of platforms, categories.
Darren, speaking of brands and agencies, would entering this, I would assume, be a very good possible foot in the door to start working with brands and agencies as a creator? Because I mean, this is a big name awards, the DSTV Content Creator Awards. You guys are partnered with TikTok, obviously, but I feel like even if you're just nominated, people are going to start going to look at your content, see what you do, and I feel like there could be opportunities in that.
Exactly. And that's why a brand like DSTV, a brand like TikTok have partnered with the awards, because they see the longevity of it. They see the potential, not only for kind of the big name creators, obviously, but especially like what we were seeing at the Kasi Marketing Lab yesterday, is the up and coming creators and building that kind of groundswell and looking at different forms of content. TV shows are content in and on their own right, but they're not necessarily a category, but we may build that. Short films could become a category. And so there's definitely, kind of how long is a piece of string, and we really see so much growth and so much potential for where this is going. And this is really only year one, and kind of the response we've seen has been phenomenal.
Darren, before we get into the entry and how to and when and what it means if you win, is there in South Africa, obviously you live and breathe content and creators, and I mean, this is your awards. Do you see that there is an opportunity for someone to do this full time and make a good living out of it in this country?
I would like to think so. And I think we're already seeing that. We're seeing creators who are, and that's part of, and it's not the only motivation, but, in one of the press releases we sent out regarding the Kasi Marketing Lab was there is an unemployment crisis, right? And we're not saying our awards platform is going to create millions of jobs. But what we're saying is, if you want to be a content creator, if this is something you love, try it. The first step is make content and see how that goes and improve and learn. And as so many creators have done, they're actually doing this full time, and they're working as, comedians. content creators, a lot of the people we work with for campaigns as an agency, as One Eye Jack, they do this full time. That's their job. They gig, they MC, they do content creation, and all of those kind of feed into each other. So yes, absolutely. And I think the accessibility of social media has made this a very viable career.
If you are not currently creating content, so if you are currently, I don't know, just observing. I know there's I think lurking is what Gen Z is calling it. When you just have TikTok and you're just kind of scrolling through, and you're of the millennial, elder millennial, Gen Z kind of age, do you think that you are possibly missing an opportunity?
I think it's a personal choice, right? I think if you have this yearning to create content, like I personally love photography, I enjoy reading, I'm like a little bit addicted to book talk. So there's nothing stopping me from taking my smartphone and going and starting my own kind of content around photography and how I shot it and how I did it. Whether I make money from it isn't necessarily my particular goal, but for those who are genuinely passionate about it, there's definitely that drive. And part of what we saw yesterday at the Kasi Marketing Lab with our partners there, like DSTV Humans, TikTok, PR agencies, etc., is that making those connections is really important because you can learn and you can build your community, and also collaboration. So collaborating with other content creators. And so if you're a beauty creator, if you create beauty content, why not partner with a fashion creator and kind of see how you can collaborate to co-build your platform? And something seen explode during lockdown and post-lockdown is this idea of collaboration.
For sure. Even I've been told about the collaboration thing. Okay, so I think that I can enter. Where do I go? How do I enter? And what do you need from me?
So we've made it super simple. You go to contentcreatorawards.co.za. You get onto the landing page. You just scroll down. You'll see the different award categories. We've put them into different buckets so that it's kind of easier. So we've got captivating content. We've got long format. We've got special interest. We've got design. And you can kind of go through there, click on the category that kind of interests you, read up about it, see what the judges are looking for. You simply register and you enter your content. So you would then put your link to your piece of content. And most of the entries are free. It's only the influencer and the brand agency categories where there's a small kind of nominal entry fee. But for this year especially, we've wanted to make it as easy and accessible as possible.
Okay, and say I win, what do I win?
So you get an amazing trophy, you get all the praise, but also through a lot of our event partners, we are working on not only a cash prize, but access to a lot of resources available through our partners. So that's, and it's not just, well, here's a trophy, off you go. We want to make sure that winning means something, and it means access to resources, access to people, access to funds, all of those kinds of pieces.
Okay, one more time, where do we go?
www.contentcreatorawards.co.za.
When is cutoff?
So entries close on the 12th of, sorry, I've now got the sun on my face.
It's okay.
Entries close on the 12th of June. So we're encouraging everyone to really get out there and get their entries in.
Okay, only a couple of days left. Send your best work and good luck. Is there anywhere that we can follow the Content Creator Awards on your socials?
Absolutely. So just search for Content Creator Awards SA on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. We're on all the platforms and we're very active. So we'd love to hear from you. Send us your questions. If you have any questions, email info@contentcreatorawards.co.za.
Stunning. I hope to see everyone's entries. I really want some of the people that I follow to enter. I hope they already have. Darren, thank you so much for your time. I'm looking very, very forward to this. And thank you for creating a space for, I think, the unsung heroes of the pandemic, really, especially for me.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think this is it. It's about shining a spotlight on them. A spotlight much like the sun is on me right now. So I apologize for that.
He's not driving. He's not driving.
No, he's not.
Okay, Darren, thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Jacaranda FM.